Hey guys, how are you? So today we're going to make Greek style vegetable pie, and we're going to use phyllo pastry as the pie crust, and I promise you this is simple, easy and delicious. For our ingredients, very simple. We got some onions, carrots, zucchini, button mushroom, mint, dill and scallion. And to bind everything together, we got some mozzarella, cheddar, and feta cheese, and also 1 egg. I'm cooking mushrooms off first because they have the most water content, and do this on high heat, and then followed by zucchini and onions and carrots. Right, once you get to this point, nicely colored, fragrant, smelling delicious, add onions and carrots. Right, once the bottom start getting a little bit of color, just deglaze it with 1 tablespoon of water and you're done. Right, we got our veggies over here, smelling delicious and nicely colored, and we're going to add the herbs. I grated some lemon zest to brighten up this dish, and the next step is what makes this dish. Crumbling some feta cheese all over. Get in there. Delicious. To finish this filling, I added a pinch of black pepper, some grated mozzarella, cheddar, and 1 egg. Now I'm gonna show you a nice little trick that you could use to bake a pie in a skillet. Grab a piece of parchment paper, run it underneath of cold water, and squeeze out all the water. And now you're gonna left with something similar to a piece of wet paper towel. So here's the phyllo pastry. They're really thin, handled with care, and we have to cover it in damp paper towel. My first step is to brush the parchment paper that we wetted with olive oil, and then we're going to layer some phyllo pastry on top of it. Now we just transferred the phyllo dough that we brushed with olive oil into a skillet. Now let's fill in the pie. Now one thing I have to mention is that make sure your filling is nice and thick like this. If your filling is too watery, you won't get a nice crust at the bottom of the pie. So just bring the sides in to cover the pie. And if it rips, like over here, it's okay, because we're gonna put some extra layers on the top to finish. And make sure before it goes into the oven, portion your pie into the size that you want. And we are going to sprinkle some black sesame seeds just to garnish it and give it a little bit of flavor as well. What's happening here, we're getting some color on the crust before we put this into the oven. By having a piece of parchment paper, you are slowing down the heating process so the bottom doesn't get burned. As soon as you smell something crusty and you check the sides, if it gets a little bit of color like this, then it's ready for the oven. Right, look at that, nice golden brown on the top. It's looking nice and crispy as well. And let it rest for 5 minutes before we dig in. Alright, let's go into it. I want you to hear this. Nice and crispy. Another one. Gorgeous.